Your manhood doesn't disappear when you hit 60. It transforms. And understanding that transformation could mean the difference between thriving intimacy and silent decline. Welcome, I'm Dr. Charles Bennett, a urologist who's dedicated 3 decades to men's sexual wellness in later life. Today, I'm addressing something most physicians avoid discussing: how your anatomy changes after 60 and what you can absolutely do about it. Here's what shocks most guys. The primary factor affecting masculine performance past 60 isn't chronological age. It's neglect. Simple, consistent attention, not pharmaceuticals, makes the real difference. Throughout this presentation, I'll walk you through 7 science-backed methods to maintain your vitality, customized specifically for men in their golden years. These aren't trendy hacks. They're legitimate, actionable approaches that can preserve both wellness and dignity. Stay with me until the conclusion, because I'll share a final strategy that rarely gets mentioned in medical offices. Yet it prevents one of the most uncomfortable conditions affecting older gentlemen. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button and activate notifications so you receive practical, age-appropriate health guidance designed for your demographic. If this subject matters to you, comment "Yes" below. If something needs clarification or better explanation, comment "Improve." And your input shapes future content. Let's start with the first and perhaps most misunderstood aspect of maintaining your manhood as years accumulate: keeping everything operational. Because truthfully, when activity stops, deterioration begins. Strategy 1. Maintain regular sexual engagement. Partnership optional. When consulting with gentlemen past 60, I constantly hear this resigned statement: "My intimate life is finished." Durdu. Too many have quietly surrendered to the notion that masculine function inevitably fades, and resistance is futile. But here's critical information. Not only is that assumption false, it frequently becomes the actual catalyst for decline. Your masculine anatomy, identical to your cardiovascular system, muscular structure, or cognitive function, requires regular use for optimal health. Extended inactivity decreases circulation, reduces elasticity, and can trigger tissue degradation. That's not fear-mongering. It's fundamental biology. Medical terminology calls this penile disuse syndrome, and it's significantly more prevalent than most realize. The encouraging news? It's entirely preventable. Sexual engagement, including self-stimulation, transcends pleasure. It's about preservation. Regular blood circulation to the region maintains tissue vitality, oxygen delivery, and operational capacity. Consider it similar to stretching muscles to prevent stiffness over time. If traditional intercourse or solo activity isn't currently feasible or comfortable, alternatives exist. Medically approved vacuum devices or targeted pelvic floor exercises support circulation and performance. What matters most is avoiding complete inactivity. Your physiology responds to engagement regardless of chronological age. Beyond physiological benefits, another equally crucial dimension exists: self-respect and identity. For numerous men, intimate vitality connects directly to self-perception. When that begins slipping away, confidence typically follows. Yet maintaining sexual activity, in whatever form suits you, helps reclaim not just performance, but personal pride. It's not about recapturing your 25-year-old self. It's about honoring who you are now, a man with wisdom, experience, and inherent value. I've witnessed 70-year-old patients regain control of their intimate wellness simply by implementing this initial step. Frequently, once they do, other health aspects begin improving simultaneously. It's a cascading effect. Confidence, closeness, motivation, they're all interconnected. Now that you recognize the importance of regular activity, let me address something equally critical. It's something every guy assumes he's handling correctly until complications arise. Let's discuss hygiene. Strategy 2. Proper cleansing techniques. This might sound elementary, but after 30 years treating patients, I can confirm that appropriate masculine hygiene represents one of the most overlooked yet absolutely fundamental forms of self-maintenance, particularly as we mature. I've encountered too many gentlemen experiencing infections, irritation, or more serious complications simply because nobody educated them on proper cleansing methods. It's not about lacking cleanliness. It's about not understanding how aging alters your physiology and how to adapt accordingly. As we age, skin becomes increasingly sensitive. Immune responses slow down, and our bodies aren't as rapid at combating bacteria or healing irritation. What constituted adequate hygiene in your 30s or 40s simply doesn't suffice anymore. For uncircumcised individuals, this becomes particularly important because bacteria, perspiration, and cellular debris can accumulate beneath the foreskin, creating infections like balanitis or conditions elevating your risk for serious disease. Yes, including cancer. And it's not uncommon. Certain regions report some of the highest rates globally, with inadequate hygiene being the primary cause. That risk doesn't diminish with age, it intensifies. The solution is straightforward. Cleanse gently using warm water and mild, fragrance-free soap. Nothing harsh. Retract the foreskin if applicable. Rinse thoroughly. And critically, dry completely. Moisture creates ideal breeding conditions for bacteria, particularly in skin folds. Always cleanse following sexual activity. Bodily fluids, lubricants, or natural oils can disrupt healthy bacterial balance on skin surfaces. It requires just 60 seconds, but that small daily routine could prevent painful infections, unpleasant odors, or something far more severe. What surprises many is the psychological shift accompanying this practice. When you care for your anatomy, the same way you care for dental health, cardiovascular wellness, or appearance, you start feeling differently about yourself. Cleaner, more confident, more in command. That's powerful, particularly in a culture that too often suggests older men should retreat or abandon their physical selves. But hygiene represents just the foundation. There's something else requiring your attention. Something most guys don't discuss until it's already caused significant damage. And it begins with what happens during intimacy when you're not completely ready. Let's address a hidden hazard almost nobody warns you about. Strategy 3. Never engage intimately without full readiness. This might surprise you, but it's something I've observed repeatedly in clinical practice. Men unknowingly injuring themselves during intimate moments simply because they didn't realize the dangers of engaging before achieving complete readiness. It might feel like a minor consideration, especially when desire and momentum are driving the situation. But attempting penetration without full rigidity can cause cumulative damage, and the consequences can be life-altering. Let me be explicit. Your anatomy isn't merely external tissue. It's a complex structure of vascular networks, erectile tissue, and smooth muscle. Without complete rigidity, it lacks necessary support to withstand pressure. That's why forcing performance before readiness can create what we call micro-injuries, tiny internal damage that may not produce immediate pain, but gradually forms scar tissue beneath the surface. Over time, this scarring can harden and pull surrounding tissue, resulting in what's known as Peyronie's disease. If you're unfamiliar, it's a condition causing painful curvature, sometimes so severe that intercourse becomes difficult or impossible. I've consulted with numerous older patients too embarrassed to mention changes they'd noticed until conservative treatment was no longer viable. Most had no idea this risk existed. They weren't being careless. They were simply uninformed. That's why I'm telling you now. Exercise patience. Your wellness, comfort, and confidence all depend on treating your physiology with respect and care. Waiting until complete readiness before penetration isn't just safer. It's smarter. It protects against long-term damage and ensures intimacy remains enjoyable and pain-free. Use lubricants to minimize friction and invest time in foreplay or stimulation. Communicate with your partner if you're feeling rushed. It's not worth the risk. And if you're using medications or aids for support, let them work completely before proceeding. This simple act of caution could save years of discomfort and frustration. It's not about fragility. It's about being informed and empowered. Now that you understand protecting your physiology during intimacy, we need shifting our focus to something affecting not just the body, but the mind. And it's one of the biggest hidden threats to genuine connection and desire in later years. Let's discuss the unexpected cost of excessive adult content consumption. Strategy 4. Reduce adult content consumption. Maximize authentic connection. I want to speak candidly here, gentleman to gentleman. We exist in an era when access to explicit material is easier than ever. And for numerous older men, particularly those who may be single, widowed, or feeling disconnected, it can seem like a harmless method to maintain desire. But after working with thousands of patients throughout the years, I can tell you this. What begins as occasional release can gradually become a substitute for something much deeper and more fulfilling. And it can steal the genuine connection you deserve. The reality is, excessive consumption of explicit material rewires how the brain responds to arousal. It often conditions the mind to depend on a very particular type of stimulation: rapid, visual, and solitary. Over time, this can lead to what we call desensitization, where real-life intimacy no longer triggers the same excitement. I've had gentlemen in their 60s and 70s tell me they feel puzzled. They still have the urge, but when they're with a partner, their physiology doesn't respond like it used to, and they assume something is malfunctioning internally. But in numerous cases, it's not physical. It's psychological conditioning caused by overexposure to explicit content. Furthermore, excessive consumption can create feelings of shame, isolation, and diminished self-worth, particularly when it becomes a private pattern that replaces human closeness. You start questioning your masculinity, your ability to connect, and your value in relationships. That's a heavy burden to carry, especially when you're already navigating the emotional challenges that can accompany aging. I'm not here to judge anyone. There's no condemnation, but I do encourage moderation. Use sparingly, if at all. Focus instead on rebuilding your natural arousal pathways through memory, imagination, or genuine emotional intimacy. That might mean investing more time in foreplay, communicating openly with a partner, or simply allowing yourself to feel without pressure or expectation. Desire doesn't vanish with age. It just requires a different kind of attention. Limiting explicit content doesn't mean abandoning pleasure. It means reclaiming it in a healthier, more meaningful manner. It's about bringing your body and mind back into alignment so you can experience true connection, not just stimulation. And speaking of alignment, there's one final piece to this puzzle that ties everything together. It's the foundation supporting not just your intimate wellness, but your overall vitality. It's what powers your confidence, your performance, and your ability to enjoy life fully. Let's discuss lifestyle. Strategy 5. Prioritize daily habits over prescriptions. If there's one truth I've discovered after decades treating gentlemen over 60, it's this. The way you live your life manifests in your intimate wellness more than any prescription ever could. Many patients arrive hoping for a miracle pill, a quick solution to restore what they feel they've lost. But the reality is, no medication can compete with the power of consistent, healthy routines. Your daily habits are the fuel driving everything from your circulation to your hormone balance to your mental clarity. And yes, your ability to perform and feel like yourself again. The connection between lifestyle and intimate wellness isn't merely anecdotal. It's biological. Masculine function depends on robust circulation, and circulation depends on cardiovascular and vascular health. When you smoke, consume alcohol excessively, or eat poorly, you're damaging those vessels and limiting blood flow to the most vital areas of your physiology, including your masculine anatomy. Dysfunction is often one of the first warning indicators of cardiovascular disease, and it's your body's method of signaling that something deeper may be compromised. But here's the encouraging news. Every healthy decision you make today has an immediate and lasting impact. When you quit smoking, your circulation improves within days. When you reduce alcohol consumption, your testosterone can begin to rebalance. When you start walking 30 minutes daily or consuming foods supporting vascular wellness, like berries, leafy vegetables, and omega-rich fish, you're not just extending your lifespan, you're enriching it. Your energy returns, your confidence builds, and gradually function begins to follow. What I appreciate most is witnessing a gentleman realize that his physiology isn't broken. It's responsive. It's waiting for him to show up again, to care for it the way it's cared for him all these years. I've seen patients transform things dramatically just by shifting their daily routine. They sleep better. They laugh more. They re-engage with their partners and with life itself. And they stop relying on prescriptions because they've built something stronger, a foundation. So before reaching for another pharmaceutical, reach for your walking shoes. Choose water over whiskey. Prioritize rest. Connect with others. Your physiology is responding to how you live, not just what you consume. Strategy 6. Incorporate resistance training. Here's something rarely discussed in conversations about masculine wellness. After 60. Strength training. Most guys associate weightlifting with younger bodybuilders or athletes, but resistance exercise represents one of the most powerful tools for maintaining testosterone levels, circulation, and overall vitality as you age. When you engage in regular strength training, even just 2 to 3 sessions weekly, your body responds by increasing natural testosterone production. This isn't about becoming a power lifter. It's about compound movements like squats, deadlifts, or even resistance band exercises that engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously. These movements signal your endocrine system to maintain hormone production, which directly impacts libido, energy, and masculine function. Additionally, resistance training improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and enhances cardiovascular health. All factors that contribute to better intimate performance. I've had patients in their late 60s start basic strength routines and report noticeable improvements in energy, mood, and yes, bedroom performance within just weeks. The key is starting appropriately for your fitness level and progressing gradually. Work with a qualified trainer if needed, but don't skip this component. Your muscular system and your masculine wellness are more connected than you might think. Strategy 7. Optimize sleep quality. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your body performs its most critical repair and restoration work. For masculine wellness specifically, quality sleep is when testosterone production peaks and when those spontaneous nighttime readiness events occur that keep erectile tissue healthy and oxygenated. Unfortunately, sleep quality typically declines with age. Many gentlemen over 60 struggle with interrupted sleep, sleep apnea, or insufficient deep sleep cycles. This creates a vicious cycle. Poor sleep reduces testosterone, which further disrupts sleep quality, which compounds the problem. Prioritizing sleep hygiene can make a remarkable difference. This means maintaining consistent sleep schedules, creating a dark and cool bedroom environment, limiting screen time before bed, and addressing any underlying sleep disorders like apnea. I've seen patients completely transform their intimate wellness simply by treating their sleep apnea or committing to better sleep routines. If you're waking frequently, snoring loudly, or feeling exhausted despite spending 8 hours in bed, get evaluated. Sleep disorders are treatable, and the benefits extend far beyond just feeling rested. They directly impact your masculine vitality. Now, there's one final piece of guidance I want to share. It's simple, but surprisingly powerful, and most gentlemen have never even heard of it. It happens while you sleep, and it could be the missing key to protecting your manhood as you age. Let's discuss something unexpected: what you wear or don't wear to bed. Bonus strategy: sleep without restrictive undergarments. This might seem like a minor detail, almost too simple to matter, but throughout the years, I've learned that it's often the quietest habits that have the most surprising impact. Sleeping without restrictive undergarments is one of those habits, and once you understand why, it'll change the way you think about nighttime comfort and long-term wellness. During sleep, your physiology enters a natural state of repair and regulation. For men, part of that process includes spontaneous readiness events that occur throughout the night, something completely normal and actually essential for keeping erectile tissue healthy and oxygenated. But when you wear tight or restrictive undergarments, especially briefs or snug-fitting sleepwear, you may be unknowingly compressing your anatomy during these nocturnal events. Over time, that pressure can lead to tissue irritation, reduced circulation, and in some cases, the development of internal scarring. That scarring, particularly when it goes unnoticed for years, can lead to Peyronie's disease, a painful curvature that's far more prevalent in older gentlemen than most realize. Simply choosing to sleep nude or in loose-fitting boxers allows your physiology the freedom to restore itself naturally without unnecessary friction or compression. It may seem like a small adjustment, but I've seen it make a genuine difference for men trying to preserve comfort, function, and confidence. And if you're thinking, could something this simple really matter? Just wait until you hear how all these habits connect. Because when you put them together, something powerful starts to happen. In the final message, I want to show you how these 7 essential strategies and this bonus habit can help you reclaim something even greater than intimate wellness. Let's discuss dignity, confidence, and what it truly means to age on your own terms. I recognize that for many gentlemen, particularly as we move into our 60s and beyond, discussing intimate wellness can feel uncomfortable, even unnecessary. But the truth is, your relationship with your physiology doesn't end with age. It evolves, and how you care for it now matters more than ever. What we've discussed today, keeping your anatomy active, maintaining proper hygiene, protecting yourself during intimacy, limiting overstimulation from explicit content, living a healthy lifestyle, incorporating resistance training, optimizing sleep quality, and yes, even sleeping without restrictive undergarments. These aren't just medical recommendations. They're small acts of self-respect. Each one reinforces your dignity, your vitality, and your connection to who you are. I've had the privilege of helping countless gentlemen rediscover confidence in their bodies. Not because they chased youth, but because they chose to care, to stay engaged, and to treat their intimate wellness as a meaningful component of their overall well-being. You're not alone if you've been struggling quietly or unsure where to begin. The encouraging news is, it's never too late. Every day offers an opportunity to do one thing differently. to make one better choice, and to take one step toward reclaiming control. Your wellness doesn't define your worth, but it does reflect your attention. And when you take care of yourself in these simple, powerful ways, it shows in how you walk, how you relate to others, and how you feel inside. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for choosing to invest in yourself. You've taken the first step. Let's keep going together. If this message spoke to you or reminded you of someone who might need to hear it, please give this presentation a thumbs up and share it with a friend, brother, or father. And don't forget to subscribe for more genuine conversations about men's wellness, because taking care of yourself should never come with shame, and you're never too old to start. This content is for general knowledge only. It does not replace evaluation by a specialized professional. If you have questions or symptoms, consult your specialist.